Welcome back. This is Arise News. You're watching The Morning Show with me, Biola Labi. My guest, Oviosu, is the founder and CEO of PAGA, a leading mobile payments company with a mission to transform lives by delivering innovative and universal access to financial services. Tayo's work at in 2014, CNBC selected Tayo as the Entrepreneur of the Year West Africa, and in 2015, the African Leadership Network selected PAGA as the Outstanding Growing Company of the Year in Africa. Tayo, welcome to the show.
Biola, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure
to be here. Earlier this year, you had said something to the effect that for mobile payments and financial inclusion, and for the CBN to meet its 2020 financial inclusion goal, you said we need to significantly grow financial inclusion in Nigeria. We need to offer truly effective digital financial services that operate on all mobile telecom networks and a robust nationwide network of agents for convenient access.
Correct.
You have been operating PAGA now for almost...
Well, 5 years in the market.
5 years in the market. But you guys sort of, the idea and everything has been in the works for...
Correct, about 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
Do you still feel like this is a challenge, sort of the robust network and how PAGA, for example, operates on all networks across Nigeria?
Yeah, no, I definitely believe that there's still the challenge of how do we include all Nigerians? Because if you want a country the size of Nigeria to really be successful, you need its citizens to have access to finance, for commerce, for different reasons. And I think the opportunity is there for us to actually get there. And they're very basic things that I think we just have to double down on doing. We fundamentally started the company out of a belief that to reach the mass market, you had to build a distribution network close to people's homes, in the local community, places where people can feel comfortable going in. So those are, we call them agents. So PAGA now has about 15,000, oh no, actually almost 16,000 of these agents.
Across the country?
Across the country. But we need to get that, our goal is to get that to about 80,000 by 2020.
Why do you need agents? Like if everything is on your phone?
Exactly. So there are two ways to use PAGA. You can either go to an agent, and the agent is a place where you put cash in and get cash out from your wallet. You can open their account. Someone who can help explain to you, as your previous guest actually said, you need financial advice.
Yes.
Someone who can give you advice about what to do, how to do things. But you can also do everything on your mobile phone.
Okay.
So you can dial *242, open a wallet on any mobile network, or you can go to mypaga.com and quickly open your wallet and access or download our apps and do your transactions that way. So until the day where central banks have cash digitized 100%, you always need a touch point where cash can come in or come out.
Okay. So that's where your agents come in.
That's where the agents come in. So the agents are a key access point for which people to access services.
Okay. So just so that people at home understand PAGA, and for those of you that haven't downloaded it, maybe today's your lucky day.
Please do.
So please help people understand what a mobile wallet is and how PAGA works.
Yeah. So a mobile wallet essentially is a way for you to access transactions and save your money. For those of us who have bank accounts already, it's a complement to our bank accounts. I can link my bank accounts to my mobile wallet, and I can link my debit cards to my mobile wallet, and I get security. So now when I want to transact on my wallet, I can choose which bank account I pick it from, any of my bank accounts, or any of my cards. When I'm transacting online, I don't have to give out my card details.
Okay.
I just use my wallet, and PAGA is protecting me. So if you're banked with multiple banks, or if you just want additional convenience, PAGA is great for you, right? And that's where it drives that convenience. For those who are not banked, PAGA has access to financial services. So we are now actively working with the banks, actually on two sides. Where your previous guest also mentioned, the body of banks and the central bank are scaling out a network of agents. So we're actually on the leading edge of driving that. Like I said, we want to achieve about 80,000 agents by 2020.
So will those be PAGA agents, or those would just be like CBN agents?
They're PAGA agents.
Okay.
But you can go there and cash into any financial service, not just PAGA.
Okay.
You can also withdraw money from any bank, not just PAGA. So we're opening up our agent network. as we build our agent network, we're opening it up to banks to also use. And for some banks, we'll also have relationships around opening, accessing their services, even more than just cashing in and cashing out.
I want to take you back to sort of 9 years ago when you were starting to think about this idea and where we are today and the relationship you had with CBN. Sure. How do you feel that that's all changing now? Was there, how was that environment and how is the ecosystem today?
Yeah. So, it's a long journey that
it's like one step at a time.
But one thing I will say about the central bank is that they listen, right? And the policy that they have put together, I think, has actually been a very good policy. I actually, if anything at all, I would say as a knock is that I think they need to just be more strong about their policy. But I do like the fact that they go listen and go see what's being done in other places. So recently, as an example, there's been a lot of push to change the regulatory framework, and the central bank said, you know what, let's go see what's being done in other countries that are as big as Nigeria.
So when they say regulatory framework, that's around financial institutions?
Correct. Okay. Like which financial, like who can play in this space, right? Who are the players allowed? And the central bank actually said, let's go to India, right? India is the second largest country in the world. But 100 years from now, Nigeria will be the second largest country in the world, next to India.
Yes.
Right? And we don't even have to go that far before we'll be the third or fourth largest.
Yes, in 50 years we'll be the third most popular, yes.
So it makes sense to go see what's going on in India.
Sure.
And how have they achieved 100% financial inclusion of households and 80% of individuals? And when you go there and you see it, they've done three fundamental things. One is they've identified all their citizens. So they have all their residents, They have a system called the Aadhaar number that identifies residents. And so if you've been in India for 6 months, you can apply for this and it has your 10 fingerprints. Second, and they make that system freely accessible to everybody to innovate on, right? So you can now KYC people, right? If you have a business, etc., so you can access the service. The second thing they've done is they scaled out agent networks. So they built out 550,000 agents in a very short amount of time. And now people in their local communities can access financial services through the agent points. And then the third thing they did is they created special accounts, very simple basic savings accounts, lending products, and had the same uniform account across all banks and all mobile money wallets. And then for any government disbursement, you needed that account, either from a bank or from a mobile money wallet. Here you have then the prime minister of the country saying, go open these accounts, right? And they achieved over 300 million new accounts in 3 years. So when you look at that and you look at what Nigeria has, you say we're on the right track.
Okay.
The central bank has already issued a framework around shared agent networks, and they're investing in doing that. We have the BVN, so we can scale that. And then now it's about, okay, let's create this product and let's work with government to ensure that we're actually working together towards financial inclusion. So I think there's a lot of good things that came out of that trip, and but it's also a good signal to show how the central bank does listen, how the central bank does go do its own research to see what's going on in the marketplace, right?
And how people like you are included in that sort of process as well.
Exactly.
But I think just for context, so you're saying that India is at 100%
of household
and 80% of individuals.
Correct.
And where are we in Nigeria?
We're very far away from our goal. We have about 40% of people who are banked, about 30 million.
I thought I saw like something like 38%.
Yeah, I think it's early 30s. 30%. 30 million Nigerian adults are banked. We still have about 60, 70 million that are unbanked or underbanked. Although I would argue all Nigerians are underbanked because I think at any level you're not getting the kinds of services that you truly need. So we have a way to go there, and that's the place where excites me, because and that's where a company like PAGA comes in, because you said, look, what we're doing is we're building this distribution network across Nigeria, and we're going to open it up to everybody. Go there and you can leverage the agents to access services. At the same time, we have this digital platform that works on all mobile networks, because most Nigerians have two phones. Nobody has just one phone they're using. And so your money can move with you whichever network you're on. So today I'm on my 9 mobile number, and I can access my Paga wallet. When I turn on my MTN, I can access the same Paga wallet. And I can do my transactions however I want to do them, whether it's on my phone, on my laptop, same money moving around.
So one of the things you said when you first started talking to us was about savings in the wallet.
Correct.
And currently now, with the amount of people that are unbanked, there's almost about 150 billion naira in basically under mattresses that could be in the financial system. Number one, when money like that is sort of under mattresses rather than in banks and being used in the financial system, what does that mean for a community, for a society?
Yeah. So first of all, it means that not all the possible capital is coming into the banking system, because the capital that comes in that people save is what is then used to lend out as well, right? So which in turn then means that people don't have enough. There's not enough capital to lend out, especially in a country like Nigeria, where the central bank has a very high percentage for the banks that they have to keep liquid. And can't lend out. So the more capital that can come in, the more banks are able to actually do. Now, we can solve this problem. And the problem as well with a lot of people, you said people are put under the mattress. Truly what most people do is they're putting it with an alajo, person, or a collective savings.
Sure.
Esusu, and a lot of those are not safe, right? God forbid something happens to the person, and your money's lost, right? Or the person runs with your money, right?
Which we've all heard those things.
We've heard all these stories.
Growing up,
things
we've all
happened.
heard these things happening.
So what we, and the way we think about it at PAGA is to say, look, we are working with the central bank and with banks. We're going to create products, savings products that would allow you, we've done pilots before, we do savings products that would allow you go to your PAGA agent and go save your money. So you open a wallet, and then you'll be able to save your money in the wallet, right? And you actually earn interest on your money. And over time, as you are a good saver, you have access to loans, right? Again, leveraging that distribution network. And all of these products in partnership with the banks, right? In terms of how we deliver them.
And so as part of the savings services, is it still like an ajo, or is it just like a regular savings account?
So there are different flavors of it, of what we have in mind. But at the base level, it's like a regular savings account.
Okay.
Just that I know that this PAGA agent in my community who has been there for a long time is where I go to access my money.
So the agents almost serve as sort of your local bank, like for people that would have had a local bank, but obviously now reaching in remote areas where people don't have banks.
That is exactly what they are. They are the bank branch of the future, right? If you think of the future retail banking, it's not brick and mortar, right? It's through these neighborhood agents that come in all shapes and sizes. And they're the banking halls. I mean, and it's what excites me. I mean, like an example is, I like to talk about TJ. Before he became a PAGA agent about 3 years ago. And before he became a PAGA agent, he has a HND in accounting and was selling Yoruba films.
Okay.
Right? And then he met one of my colleagues who told him about the opportunity of PAGA, and he keyed on to something immediately. He said, oh, wow, I can do what banks do in my community. And he was like, yeah, you can, And so he keyed onto it. And today he's in Ogun State. And today he has 3 PAGA outlets.
Wow.
Hires 12 people.
Wow.
And he's earning 3 times the minimum wage in Nigeria, right? And making some really good money doing this business. And last year he was one of our top 5 agents. So just a fantastic story. And there's so many of these stories. We have, like I said, about 16,000 agents. And so when I think about the opportunity for the entrepreneurs, so there's an opportunity to make some good money doing this business as an agent in your community, but also to create jobs, right? I mean, we estimate today that PAGA alone has created over 10,000 indirect jobs.
Wow.
Right? We have 240 staff direct, but 10,000 indirect jobs in Nigeria. And so there's just opportunity to scale that and the impact to the community. So today...
we're going to take a break.
Sure.
When we come back, what I want to do is actually talk more about PAGA, talk about innovation at PAGA, and talk about the culture at PAGA. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking more to Taya about how he built the culture at PAGA. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is Arise News. You're watching the morning show with me, Biola Labi. Still here with me is the founder and CEO of PAGA, Tayo Oviosu. Tayo, before we went on break, we were talking about the agent network you've built. And one of the most difficult things to build in any business in Nigeria is trust. So I want to talk to you about how were you guys able to sort of break that barrier and build trust with the agents?
Yeah, this is a very important point. And from day one, this is something that we've taken very seriously. And we've said to ourselves, and we continue repeating it internally to ourselves, that trust is every interaction you build trust. And the first thing in terms of our values is our integrity and keeping our word to people. So with every interaction with an agent, we are making sure that we keep what we promise. But also, in finding the agents, we are looking for people who are trusted already in their communities. Luckily, Nigerians like to talk, so we do our own investigation about the agent.
So you do your own KYC?
We do our own KYC, etc. Which is why, when we tell people, about the guy who sells airtime under the umbrella, our agents are not someone under an umbrella. Our agents are people who have a business, they've been in their community for a while, people know them, they're not going anywhere. So it means that we actually take a lot of time in really finding the right sets of people and continue to, and if they do something that violates the trust of the community, we are also very strict. So we're also very strict about the rules and the regulations and enforcing it with them as well. So that's something that we take very, 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 very seriously. Yeah.
So Tayo, I mean, one of the things that we didn't say in your introduction is the fact that you've worked at a number of companies. Correct. You worked at big companies like Cisco. Yes. You've worked for equity, a private equity firm before, and now you're an entrepreneur. Yeah. What was with every entrepreneur, the biggest thing you're trying to do is build the right culture in the company. Correct. How did you approach that, and how did you attack that, and how was that part of everything you did?
Yeah, I think this is something that is easily missed by a lot of people, and I think you have to be thinking about the culture you want to build, because if you are not thinking about it, there will be a culture, right? Because culture is how you do things around here. So I think it's about being very clear on the kind of environment that you want to have, and then you taking the lead to show it. But also, as much as you can, writing down what those elements are and looking for those things in the people you hire. And when you see behaviors that are different from your culture, putting a nip on it. So for us, it's, we started, it's been a journey, right? I remember the first person, second person, 4 people. Now there are 240 of us.
A lot of people.
So it's a lot of people. And I find myself walking through the office and I don't recognize somebody, but they're saying hi. Right, but
also, how did you adjust to that? Remember, like when you're building a company, you're used to knowing everyone, and you get to a place where you don't know everyone again. And I think as entrepreneurs have some time getting even used to that. How did you adjust to that?
It was tough. It was tough. But I learned to smile and say hi, very nice, and then later I'm like, who's that? Right? Because I also don't want to make the mistake of I've asked you for your name before, and then the biggest adjustment of it is how often I have to tell the strategy. Because before we'll all just get in one room, have a conversation, and this is what we're going to go do, and we go execute. But now you have to actually be more structured about how you deliver the message. And first the leadership team has to be together on it, and then they have to take it to their teams, right? And then I also now do quarterly town halls, where with all our, one of the town halls in the year is the entire company, because we have people in different parts of Nigeria. But I do with the Lagos team and the West team, in person. And then when I travel to other parts of the country, I either do it or our head of sales does it. So we make sure that we're conveying the message, and there's more structured communication going out to everyone of this is what's going on, this is what's important that you should be aware of. And being very open as well. We're very transparent with our team in terms of our goals and our targets and in terms of the numbers, right? Because at the end of the day, I want people to be clear that the money's not falling from a tree. It's that it's our work that is leading to us being able to make money, to pay salaries, to pay everything we're doing. And so being very clear about that, and if we're not doing well on that side, then we need to be raising money from investors, right? And that has its own challenges, et cetera. So just making sure that we're very clear with everybody.
So my guest earlier also was wearing a T-shirt, and you're wearing a T-shirt. And when people think of financial services or people think of bankers, they think of people wearing stiff suits. What was how is your culture in the company changing from people that come to work thinking that this is a suit place to not so suit?
We've never worn a suit, so it's just never been there. Frankly, if I could go to work in a T-shirt and shorts, I'll be very fine to do that. And so we've always been business casual, and on Thursdays, it's Paga Thursdays, and then Friday is also casual, so we really have 2 days of casual in the office. So I think that's one of the things about the culture is like we're very open door, and everybody's accessible. There are no sirs, there are no mas, right? And call people by their first name, and let's engage. And every voice is welcome, right? And the diversity is welcome across the company as well. And so that's something that we just continue to strive for and continue to make sure that we have a meritocracy as well. And just have a very, very relaxed environment, doing TGIFs and things like that, right? And making sure that we play. I actually don't think we play as hard as I would like us to, right? But also make sure that it's not all about work, and that there's a lot about playing as well.
So now you're sort of 5 years now on this journey. You've seen the financial sector in Nigeria also change dramatically. There is a lot of chatter about fintech. What should people, what does that really mean? Everyone is fintech, and what does that really mean? I mean, Paga's fintech, and even Diamondback is fintech. Everyone's fintech. What does fintech mean to you today?
We were fintech before the term
before it existed.
So look, I look at it from a very practical point of view, right? Is all those terms are jargon, right? From an end user perspective. People just want to get something done. And so what is it that they're trying to accomplish? I want to send money to Biola. How do I send money to Biola? Very simple. Now, our answer is just Paga it, right? Just Paga it. And I want to pay my electricity. How do I do that, right? When I was on my way here, my gate man said, the electric meter is turning red. Please, we need to buy a token. I got in the car. I opened my Paga app. I bought the token, sent it to him, done, right? I just want to get something done. So it's not even about the words. Now, I think fundamentally, the innovation is going to allow us to leapfrog a lot of things and to move forward faster. But it's not going to take away the human interaction needed to drive to digital. Because the way anyone will use a service is somebody else telling them about it, someone they trust, and say, oh, okay, you can try it. So there's still a human touch that's needed in how you drive these transactions. But innovation is going to help us in different areas and just make things easier and make it, a lot faster to get what you want to do done.
So taking it away from Paga and just looking at it as someone who's been an industry veteran for a while now, when you see the number of fintech companies and fintech hackathons and fintech, do you think this is something that is going to catapult financial inclusion in Nigeria forward, or you think it's something that we should approach with kid gloves?
So I sort of have a middle view on it. I think it would help, and I think the more innovation it's always a good positive thing. But we have to be careful that we're not too far ahead of the market. And so, our chief technology officer likes to say appropriate technology, right? So because the technology exists doesn't mean that it's market ready. The technology for what you know as Apple Pay today, which is NFC payments, exists. In fact, it was the first full-fledged demo that Paga did 5 years ago, where you go to the supermarket and you pay by just tapping your mobile phone. And if you search my YouTube, you'll still find it there. You just tap your mobile phone and you pay for your transaction. But we have not rolled that out. Why? The market's not ready for that. Not because the technology's not there. The technology's there, we actually have it, but the market's not ready for it. And so I think my advice to fintechs and to any startup really is always be paying attention to your market and always be, where are they today? Because that's where you make money today. And sometimes you do have to move them in a certain direction. And so you can take the lead in doing so. But generally, I think you have to just think about how you move the market. So if you look at our business, like you said, 5 years, we have 8.6 million users on our platform, right? The largest banks in Nigeria have about 10 million 12 million users on their platform, and they've been around for much longer. But that's technology that's allowed us to do that. Technology and the agent network and the feet on the ground that is actually the human interaction and the human touch with people in local communities across Nigeria.
So let's go back to TJ as we close out here. Let's go back to the TJs of the network that are out there, that are serving their communities. In communities where you have people like TJ, and then if you look at the shared agent network that CBN is rolling out, do you ever see those places ever getting full-on traditional banking services?
Yes, I do. Absolutely. And in fact, before the end of this year, you'll be able to go to a PAGA agent and apply for a loan. Right? You can already go.
So sorry, maybe I should read. What I mean is the traditional sort of brick and mortar banking services.
I don't think.
Do you think banks are still going to build out
brick and mortar?
Brick and mortars?
They're going to reduce their build out of brick and mortar over time. It's too expensive, and it doesn't make sense. What they'll rather do is partner with companies like us, because as we build out those locations, then they'll partner with us to offer their services in those locations or through our wallets, right?
And so PAGA agents will then make a transaction fee on all these services.
Correct.
And sort of, if I go there, TJ will be able to give me a loan one day.
One day. You can already go to TJ and deposit money to any bank instantly into the bank account. You can go to him and withdraw money from any bank already. So the next step is now go to him and be able to open a bank account. Go to him and be able to apply for a loan from a bank, right? So we're building an ecosystem that we're opening up to other financial institutions as well.
And people can find you.
And they can find us. mypaga.com is our website. We're on the Android App Store as well, or *242# on any mobile network.
Fantastic. Tayo, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
I can't wait to see what PAGA does in the next 5 years. And I have to find TJ and bring him on the show.
Yeah, I think you'll love it.
Thank you. This brings us to the end of the morning show today. I'm Biola Alabi. Thanks to my guests for joining me and to you at home for watching. Goodbye.